Welcome everyone. I'm Melanie Azagury and I'm joined by Peter Broeckx and Jon Zoltie. We're here to talk about some practical AI strategies for Microsoft Teams. AI, it's the star of the tech hype charts, all the rage, and there's a lot of pressure on people like you, IT leaders, to implement and adopt AI across the organization. And you're probably asking yourself, where can I start with AI? Well, over the next 15 minutes, Peter, Jon, and I will share some practical ways to adopt AI to enhance the meeting and customer experience across your company as soon as tomorrow morning, while being fully integrated with Microsoft Teams. So let's jump in. Peter, we keep hearing you mention AI adoption and how IT leaders are under tremendous pressure to get going with AI. What's the story here?
Well, Melanie, especially in the contact center, we've been hearing about AI for years already. But it's always been that thing of, we'll get it done one day because it was complex, was unclear, something for the geeks. And GPT and ChatGPT have completely changed this. It's making AI more tangible, something you can touch. ChatGPT can literally do everything from recommending a dinner place to putting together a Python code. Actually, my own kids write essays for school using ChatGPT these days. And it's an incredible showcase of AI capabilities, making it much harder for companies to ignore AI. And in the field, we're seeing enterprise customers looking at this. If you go to an event, the only thing you see on booths is AI. Is the first thing people start talking about. So you've got enterprise customers that form AI task forces to see how they should use it, how they can deploy it, how they can use it to the benefit of their organization. We've even got customers where some of the IT leaders actually are taking hands-on courses on conversational AI and generative AI. So at least that's what we see on the contact center side of the house. I'm not sure how you see this on the UC side, Jon.
Very similar story, Peter. So as you've both mentioned, there's a pressure on IT and technical teams to implement AI, but it comes as a bit of a pincer from both sides. So from the ground up, you've got employees who use AI because of the buzzword and the buzz around ChatGPT, and they're using that in their personal and professional lives. So they're going to the IT and technical guys saying, what are we doing as a business to implement AI or an AI strategy? And then from the top down, you've got a CIO and a CTO who are getting requests from the board and investors around what they're doing with AI because competitors are doing it and they need to keep up, especially in key areas where they invest heavily, like unified comms, Microsoft Teams, for example, and contact center. And it comes back to a fear of missing out and being left behind. And they're not wrong. So there was a recent Piper Sandler report, actually, that showed 41% of respondents were already accelerating the use of AI in the business. So that's not just starting or dipping their toe in the water. They're actually accelerating existing use of technologies. So it further puts pressure on organizations to implement at least something in the AI space and as soon as possible.
So it's definitely spreading across the organization, the various departments. We're seeing it for sure on the marketing side as well. It's been allowing us to better address the customer journey. And speaking of customers, IT leaders have been sharing with us more and more that pressure to adopt AI. Although we know it's not that easy to do. Jon, you're out here speaking to IT leaders all day long. What are the complexities you're hearing IT leaders say when dealing with adopting AI?
So what we saw when ChatGPT and Bard were launched was a rush to implement something and very quickly. And we've subsequently seen a little slight step back at an organization and IT level with three typical concerns or challenges that need to be covered before diving into that world. And those are security, privacy, and accuracy. So when we look at security, when you're looking at a cloud application like Teams meeting recordings, capturing the great ideas shared in meetings and look to enhance them via an AI application, you need to ensure security is covered at rest and in transit. So making sure the data is encrypted and protected. When we look at privacy, we're talking again specifically for recorded meetings as an example. IT teams need to ensure the data is controlled So that's both on an individual level and an organizational level when you think of sharing that information either internally or externally. When I say accuracy, I'm talking about data accuracy. So it's no secret that some of these large language models are a little, let's say, creative in their answers. Some would say inaccurate, but let's stick with creative for the time being. So before launching into buying an AI application, you see customers and partners ensuring the applications have the option to learn and evolve, especially the organization glossary. Obviously, that's got unique vocabulary that only internal people understand because there's so many acronyms, for example, unique to that organization. So those are the challenges specific to the UC world, but Peter, maybe you can explain a little bit more around the complexities people are seeing in the contact center world.
Well, you're actually spot on with these points, John. And there's such a big difference between how easy AI looks when you think about a ChatGPT experience versus an enterprise-grade Copilot, for example. And once you start thinking of data and data quality and data flowing in and out of AI, you realize that putting your hands on this technology is literally just the beginning. And without a strong integration between AI and things like CRM, knowledge databases, back office applications, but also, presentations, spreadsheets, you can't really get AI on your side to perform the tasks you really need help with. And actually, it's not only about actual integrations, it's also about the underlying data. It's about the data structure. It's about how intact the data are, how correct the data is. And when you need AI to be able to process things and deliver value for you as an enterprise, the data and the correctness of that underlying data is key to making things work.
So what I'm hearing is that AI adoption can be perceived as complex, but maybe it's more perception than reality. Peter, I know you and the team are working on a solution geared towards customer experience. What are you doing to have AI adoption actually be quick and simple to implement?
Well, Melanie, the solution you're referring to is our 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗇𝗐 solution. It's and with 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗇𝗐, we really are thinking AI first. We made conversational AI through built-in experience. Think about how contact center was or used to be in the past. We used to have DTMF IVRs. It's probably one of the most outdated technologies and most hated technologies out there. It's like you were calling into a contact center and we're going like, welcome to AudioCodes, press 1 for English, press 2 for, and then 10 or 15 steps later, you would finally get to speak to someone and find out that you were speaking to the wrong agent. And it would go like, oh, I can't help you with this. Let me transfer you at best. Or even say, hey, this is the right number, call again. Now, with the conversational AI that we've built into 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗇𝗐, we can get to a way better customer experience. Because like, welcome to AudioCodes. How can I help you? I've got a problem. I can't log into my laptop anymore. Can you help me? It would be straightforward directed to the right person within the IT help desk. That's pretty good for technology and how we've built in AI. And we really went very far to making it truly built in. And to make it easy, we actually looked at two different levels. One is technology, the second one is commercial. If you look at the technical side, we've done the integration of Microsoft Cognitive Services. So think speech to text, text to speech, and natural language understanding. They're all fully pre-integrated into our solution. They're pre-trained to cope with the most popular use cases. From a commercial perspective, we consume those Microsoft Cognitive Services, those AI services, on behalf of our customers, making it easy to use this solution completely out of the box. You can use it, you don't have to do it, it's just there.
What about from a meeting perspective? We all have a lot of meetings. AI seems to have a great application in that space. John, what's the impact that an effective AI adoption can make on the company's meeting experience?
So AudioCodes has a product called Meeting Insights. It's a Microsoft Teams AI application. And in its simplest sense, it's a bot that sits in all of your Microsoft Teams meetings and records and transcribes the entire meeting. It then places that recording in a really easy to use repository in a Teams application, so you can easily find the meeting and play it back whenever you want. So by repository, it's a bit like when someone says, can you find that email you sent 5 months ago or that email you sent 2 years ago? Outlook is that email repository to find those old communications. You can now use Meeting Insights to be able to do that in a really easy to use fashion. Now that gives a huge number of benefits just in itself, but where we've really supercharged it is we've integrated generative AI into that recording. So that takes the transcription, the speakers, and the slides that are shown in that meeting and summarizes the meeting into snippets or chapters. So you can very quickly find specific parts of the meeting and listen to them back rather than watching the entire meeting. And it can also email a summary of the key points, the actions, and the FAQs that came in that meeting as well. So in answer to your question, Melanie, on how does AI affect the meeting experience, we find that AI integration falls into 3 categories. So we've got focus. By that, I mean focus on the call. So you know that the note-taking is being done by an AI bot on autopilot. So you can focus on the meeting without writing notes. Every detail is captured for you and the attendees in an unbiased and objective view. Secondly, it's freeing up time. So I can't overstate it enough, the amount of time that this can save us every single day. We can't attend all the meetings in our calendar. If your calendar is anything like mine, you tentatively accept meetings, you accept meetings even though you know you're double booked, but rather than decline them or tentatively accept them, you can have AI attend them instead and take detailed notes of the meetings that you simply can't attend. And then because it summarizes it for you, or for me, I don't need to watch the full meeting recording in my own time, inside or outside of work hours. So being able to watch specific and relevant parts of a meeting is extremely powerful and can save countless hours per day. And the third area is data visibility and transparency. So as an organization, being able to see firsthand inputs from meetings across the entire business. So that's meetings with customers, meetings with prospects, product updates, project management meetings. It's extremely valuable.
So the customer experience and meeting space have great opportunities for adopting AI. Now let's close this out. I'm going to ask a difficult question here. How would someone who's in charge of their company's AI strategy get started as soon as, let's say, tomorrow? Peter, let's start with you on the CX side of the business.
Thanks, Melanie. Not the easiest of questions to end here. Well, with so many AI offerings out there, it's definitely pretty overwhelming to understand how you can best adopt AI and get going. My best advice would be to actually start from the end. Start with envisioning your organization's ecosystem powered by AI and how that would need to look like in 3 to 5 years from now. What will be your primarily UC and CX application? How are the different AI services going to integrate with both those UC and CX applications? My advice is to avoid a situation where you have a bunch of fragmented AI services. You really want systems to be able to talk and exchange information with each other, to have AI doing the best it can to power up both your internal conversations and your customer-facing interactions. So I guess look for a solution that's already done the hard work for you. Especially moving forward, AI is something that's going to be very much a plug-and-play experience. And that's exactly what we did with 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗇𝗏 CIC.
Peter is absolutely spot on. So it's not only vendors that have built it already, but it's also looking for vendors that bundle the AI in from a commercial perspective as well. So on top of that, if I was to give a couple of extra salient points, if you've got people looking for an AI application in the UC space, also important to make sure there's a lot more value to the organization as a whole, not just the individuals. I'd be looking for a vendor that's got a well-known brand that also has a viable commercial offering in the market. Obviously one that's tight or embedded into my current UC application, which in this case obviously is Microsoft and Microsoft Teams. And when I say viable commercial offering, I'm talking about AI technology that's available right now. So not roadmaps, not pipe dream technology. It's important to ensure that the technology can be implemented as soon as possible.
Jon, Peter, thank you so much for your time and insight today. And thank you to all of you that joined us. We hope you enjoy the rest of your time at Microsoft Ignite.